Check, check.
Yep, that's perfect.
The turf for track areas during the contest. Bedford High School wholeheartedly supports the NHI policy on good sportsmanship. Cheering is certainly loud and encouraged, but please be positive with the cheers and respectful to the athletes and officials being here today. Reminder to all fans in attendance, please keep your masks on the entire time at Bedford High School campus and remain at a social distance from all other families. Now it's full starting lineups. First for the visiting Blue Devils. Number 1, Chloe Stone. Number 2, Shane Santo. Number 4, Isabella Pucheri. Number 6, Allison Ringdal. Number 7, Madison Morales. Number 11, Kim Lopez. Number 14, Madison McGinn. Number 18, Ariana Lakos. Number 19, Emily Wilson. Number 20, Faith Hoover. Number 27, Amy Murphy. And number 50, Abby Porter. The Blue Devils are coached by John Gatsis, assisted by Ricky Oliver and Amanda Swizensky. And now let's meet your starters for the Bedford High School Bulldogs. Number 1, Sydney Grogan. Number 2, Regan O'Brien. Number 5, Julian Bell. Number 6, Olivia Matthews. Number 14, Alex Doldo. Number 15, Mackenzie Muir. Number 18, Emily Ulmer. Number 19, Abby Widener. Number 23, Natalie Rago. Number 26, Ellie Enners. Number 29, Emma Watson. And number 48, Caitlin Bells. Bulldogs are coached by Christine Hodgson, assisted by Linnea Hilton. Tonight's officials are Ms. Christy Trupin and Mr. Doug Reed. At this time, all fans, please rise and move their hats as we honor America and the name of our national anthem.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Division I Girls High School Lacrosse matchup this evening with Bedford, the home team here at Bedford High School. The Bedford Bulldogs will be taking on the Salem Blue Devils. We are getting ready for action to start here as the starting teams are taking their field. Salem in their visiting blue, and Bedford in their home white jerseys, black skirts. We'll get underway in just a moment. I'll be joined here momentarily by Athletic Director Corey Parker as well. Appreciate Corey joining me in the call.
Appreciate you and George being here to stream this call.
There he is. How quick is that?
Time management.
Coming into the game, the Bedford Bulldogs have had a nice start to the season. A couple of wins last weekdays, Tuesdays and Thursday, against the Sauhegan Sabres. Did they play over the weekend too, Corey?
Sauhegan or Salem? I apologize.
Bedford.
No, we did not.
Okay.
Nope.
I know the boys played against Pinkerton and lost, but I wasn't sure if the girls had a game as well.
Nope. Just the boys this past weekend.
So they enter the game at 2-0 with those 2 wins over Sauhegan and take on a tough, gritty Salem Blue Devil team. We are getting ready for the opening draw as Julian Bell will come out to the draw circle. Don't have the number for the Blue Devil that will be taking the draw, but
maybe 18. Ariana Lacrosse. Tough number at the angle we're fighting here.
Can't quite tell.
Gorgeous evening here at Bedford.
Absolutely spectacular. Most of the day was mid to high 60s here in Bedford, New Hampshire. And that is number 18, Ariana Lacos. The draw doesn't seem to go high enough, but they're going to let it go anyway. And Sydney Grogan comes away with that loose ball, gets it to Ellie Enners. Enners settles, gets it back up top to Julian Bell. And they're going to set up their offense. They usually like to try to get it around a little bit. They're going to go quick, though. Olivia Matthews cutting, couldn't handle it. Now they get it to Regan O'Brien. Sees cutting in the middle. Sydney Grogan spins back to her left and buries it high. Quick start for the Bulldogs.
Great move there by the junior. Pivot, turn, and really a high percentage shot, throwing it over the glove shoulder. High top of the corner for getting the Bulldogs on the board here early. Just short 26 seconds into this.
Yeah, I know that Sydney Grogan has a lot of athletic accomplishments so far, but Corey, she's only a sophomore.
I'm sorry. Did I say junior? She plays like a junior.
She does play like a
I
junior.
have watched Sydney play 3 seasons, and so I should know that. I apologize, Sydney. Fun one to watch, but you're right. Our game. She is a sophomore.
But definitely caught it right-handed, right there in front of the crease, spun back to her left hand. And it was a great offhand bury top, high left, upper 90. Gets the Bulldogs on the board quickly with only 26 seconds into the game. And now they're going to take another draw here as that one did not go high enough either. They let the first one go, but they'll call this one. Julian Bell back on the draw against Ariana Lacos. And we're going to take a pause as they position those sticks appropriately. That one does not go up high enough. Again, positioning this, that seemed like it was a draw foul on Julian Bell, and that was Emily Wilson on the draw, not Lacos. And because of that procedure on Bedford, the Blue Devils will take over and get into their offensive end. Tough defense here by Sydney Grogan on Lacos. Ball deflected there by Olivia Matthews. Gets on the ground, but couldn't come up with the G-beam. And now she does get to it on an excellent takeaway check by the freshman. Olivia Matthews comes away with that strongly, gets it up into transition. Sydney Grogan up quick to Regan O'Brien. O'Brien to her right hand, looking down the outside, feeds back to the middle. Julian Bell switches over, doesn't switch hands, but buries anyway. And Julian Bell with the quick second goal on that feedback from Regan O'Brien.
Yeah, just a great transition there. Part of showing the true skill that Bedford possesses, being able to pick it up and very quickly advance it across the field. And tough to defend that if you're, let alone the speed of our girls being able to pass and catch in transition like that. That's going to be a tough thing for Salem to defend, no question.
Yeah, we always like to say as coaches that the ball moves faster than the player, right?
Yeah.
So if you're well positioned and you can make those sharp passes, 1 or 2, maybe 5, 6, 7 steps, but then get it away to the person farther upfield, you're going to get those odd man or odd woman situations, and those usually count for goals. Back to the draw circle. Julian Bell gets that going her direction against Lacos. They find Matthews. Matthews up to Enners, and they're back into the offensive end. So a quick start here for the Bulldogs, 2-0, only 2 minutes, actually 1 minute, a minute and a half into the game. Now Bell to Enners. Over to Grogan, back to Enners. So, Corey, something quickly we can notice about the Salem defense. The defense would normally keep their heels on that 8-meter fan. They're extending out a bit farther than that. It's going to be tough to defend with cutters, quick movement, pick and roll. If they tighten their defense down, as Enners misses wide right, if they tighten their defense down, they're going to give themselves a better chance to stop the Bulldog offense. But
yeah, we saw it right there with Enners being able to kind of beat her girl on the two-step and get around her and have separation between the next defender for a high percentage shot, as we see that right there for Regan.
Speaking of high percentage shots, that is Regan O'Brien's go-to move, little stutter step, gets back out to her left hand, gets high side, and once she gets high side, she's nearly impossible to stop as she buries offside hip on Abby Porter for her first goal of the game. It's 3-0 Bedford, and they are out to a quick start.
Yeah, quick start. Tough start of the season for Salem. They faced Pinkerton as their first 2 games last week, giving up 19 in each of those games. And so Pinkerton Bedford for anybody is a tough 1-2 combo to start your season when you didn't have one last year as well. So hopefully the Blue Devils can obtain possession here and try to slow the onslaught that we've seen for a quick 3 goals lead here for Bedford.
So we're back to the draw circle. So back to the draw circle we go. First one didn't go high enough. This one does. Looks like Sydney Grogan will get a chance at the ground ball. She picks it up, spins away from pressure to her left hand, finds Matthews. Matthews up quick. That looks like Alex Daldo behind the cage.
Yep.
Daldo finds Emily Ulmer, senior attacker. She sets up as the Bulldogs will get in their stack positions and run some play actions off of this. Matthews quick cut, left hand, couldn't handle the pass. Ball's on the ground. Scrap here for it. And Kim Lopez comes away with that ground ball. Nice hustle and scrap for that. Now she gets chased by 4 Bedford riders. And we're going to have a call on the check. Was not sharp and quick enough. Pulled the stick down. So Salem restarts, but quickly throws it away. And Julian Bell comes up with that's Regan O'Brien. Comes away with the ground ball. Finds a cutting Enners. Enners is smashed in the fan. She's going to get an 8-meter there. Okay. So Enners, as she was cutting, got tripped up there by the defender, number 20, Faith Hoover. And so she'll take position on the 8-meter with a free position shot here. This is tough on the goalie, right? So no defenders in the way. Ellie Enners a scoring machine usually. She's going to pick her corner and try to snipe a goal here. You have white offensive players in the back, and they're not necessary as Enners finishes well. They're back there to back up the ball, but Ellie Enners did a nice job picking low right, offside, which means away from the goalie's natural stick position. So that offside hip is a really tough save. Enners found it and scores to go up 4-0.
So we have a quick moment. Congratulations to the boys lacrosse team coming up 93 from Salem after an 18-3 victory over Salem's boys lacrosse team today. The girls and boys will flip the script on Thursday. Boys will host here, Varsity at 4 p.m. while the girls travel to Salem for a matchup.
Draw one again by Bedford, but that pass sails high out of the reach of Alex Daldo, and Salem will pick it up and come out. Yeah, congratulations to the boys. Any updates on star performers there, Corey?
Haven't got that far.
Okay, no worries.
Coach said happy to get through the game, no injuries.
That's always a plus. Always a plus. So Salem is going to restart the ball a little quick there as they threw the ball before they were actually inbounds. So they're going to come up the sideline a little bit and restart. We touched on this last week as the quick restart, the whistleless restart is a nice adaptation recently to the rules of girls lacrosse.
I could.
It's a tough situation. She throws it up and out of bounds as it looked like that was Faith Hoover again, getting in a tough spot on the ride. So Mackenzie Muir picks it up. She passes it ahead quickly, finds Alex Daldo. Daldo gets it into the offensive third, and they'll set up again. Daldo to Matthews. She waits, finds Bell up top. Over to Grogan. And back to Bell. See if they're looking for a matchup here that they like or get into the offensive motion that they like. Right now they're running a circle offense. Nobody really in the middle. Might see a few cuts and a wheel. Whoever it comes from might pass and then cut through. Look for the second person around. So Julian Bell passes. Grogan cuts. A little pick and roll offside. Little out of Sydney Grogan's reach. But Bell is there for the ground ball. 19 minutes left here in the first half. It's a 4-0 Bedford lead. Matthews looks for cutters. Seem to have slowed it down here a little bit as they get it to Cameron Schmidt. Schmidt drives righty. Spins back to her left. Driving hard now, looking for the dunk is Isabel McStowe, but she gets rejected by the goalie. Still a loose ball. And Salem comes away with it as Paige Frias finds that ground ball. Dodges a couple of defenders, gets an illegal check call, so Salem will restart.
Yeah, Frias doing a nice job getting that jump ball over a couple white shirts and earning that whistle as she was defended by 3 players a little too closely.
Frias got it to Emily Wilson. Wilson now into the offensive third, and she gets checked hard by Sydney Grogan. Sydney Grogan will go behind. Emily Wilson with possession. And she starts again, a whistleless restart. Over to Lacos. Lacos looks for the pick and roll. Well defended, but they didn't stay with her. They will get a shooting space call, so that goal does not count right now. But there was shooting space on a defender, so the defender was in the shooter's way, in between the goal and the shooter, too far away from the shooter. So Ariana Lacos will take a free position shot on the 8-meter, one-on-one. And a great save there by Abby Widener. Comes away with it, rolls away from pressure. Looks for somebody to pass it off to. And she finds a cutting Natalie Rago. Rago gets checked and illegally. So
yeah, you alluded to a couple of the rules. That's another one right there. That's a kind of a tough call because they called the shooting space, even though the offensive player still was able to get a great shot off and actually score the goal. And then the restart, unable to do that. It's got to be somewhat frustrating if you're that offensive player that you weren't able to take the goal. Nonetheless.
In some cases, if you see an illegal check on somebody's head or reaching across the body, they'll actually raise their hand with the flag in their hand, indicating a penalty. And if the shot doesn't result in a goal, they'll blow it dead. In this case, a shooting space is frequently a safety concern, so they do frequently blow it dead. So Grogan back over to Bell. Bell, little split dodge. Got double team there, so she pulls it out. Back to Grogan now. Over to Matthews. Pass and pick away. Matthews finds Bell again. Over to Grogan. You can see the attackers are all behind the cage there, making room for their midfielders. Now Grogan passes. She's looking offside. Ulmer being patient with the ball, back right. Back to Schmidt. And back to Ulmer. A lot of patience here. Ulmer drives hard. Gets back to her left hand. Shot is high, but it's well backed up by the attack. Looks like Abby Williams is now into the game, and she passes up top to Alex Daldo. Matthews now over to Bell. Looks like they're really trying to isolate the midfielders and get some of these attackers to cut from behind as Bell, nice little spin dodge, gets into the fan area, and that's going to be shooting space again as the defender came from an awkward angle and got directly in the path of the shooter. So Bell will get a free position shot. 1-on-1 with Abby Porter here. 15 minutes to go. Looking to extend it out to a 5-goal lead. So Julian Bell ready for the restart. Whistle blows. Bouncer, low right,
Nice
and
shot.
she makes good on it. So Julian Bell's second goal of the game. 14:58 left, and it's 5-0 Bedford Bulldogs.
Yeah, really difficult opportunity there for the goalie, as most goalies will have their sticks up, as the Salem goalie did today. And to flip the wrist and go low with the shot is a much easier opportunity, knowing where you're going. Conversely, for the defender, or the goalie in this case, trying to deflect and get that down in time. So far, they're a great opportunity for Bedford, and Coach Hodge is doing a nice job of really kind of being patient offensively and trying to set certain things up. It's very obvious she wants girls in certain places, running certain sets. And, fortunately, so far in the game, they've had the opportunity to do so, whereas the Sahuagin game last week, a stronger defensive team, stronger man-to-man defense, you didn't necessarily have the luxuries that we're able to take advantage of so far in this one.
Yeah, and you're getting a chance to see other personnel in there, too.
Yep.
Some of the younger players, some of the less experienced players are getting a chance to see the field quite early.
Yep. Even the starting lineup, a couple names that I know we did not announce to start last week. So
yeah, Daldo, Muir,
Watson.
Yep. So good to see some other players out there getting some time in a varsity game as Bedford wins the draw and they go back on the offensive side here. So offensive third. Enters, draws one, dumps left. She finds Audrey Purnell, who's made her first appearance in the game. Cut from behind, can't see it. Matthews over to Enters. Enters sees Schmidt go through and now finds Alex Daldo, and she scores. Nice individual effort there by Alex Daldo. Tough catch in traffic.
And the wherewithal to finish with a quality shot.
Absolutely.
A lot of contact.
So 6-0 Bedford. And we go back to the draw circle. Yeah, you're talking about stick position there, and it wasn't really a factor there, but on those free positions, it is an amazingly high percentage of shots that go low.
Mm-hmm.
So as a coach, we were starting to tell our goalies to actually hold their stick about hip level because it seemed like it was easier to come up high, that quick action, whereas a shot that went low, it was also easier to get low on
split
that.
The difference. Sure. Makes sense.
So Enters as Bedford comes away with the draw again. Audrey Purnell to Matthews. Matthews. Shadow defense there. They're not really putting too much pressure on these midfielders for Bedford. Although they extend out there as Lacrosse came out and pressured Enters a little bit. Cut through the middle there, and that one goes a little too high for Isabel McStowe. And Abby Porter will come out of the cage. She looks, finds somebody, but pass is too low, so Olivia Matthews picks that off. Back to Enters. Enters can't find it, but gets her own rebound. Good follow-up there on the ground ball and buries high.
Really nice job following through, continuing her pace forward on that one. And a nice job by Matthews there, really being a team player. She obviously stole that pass coming out and had some room to possibly fire from 15, 18 yards out, but was immediately looking for teammates, knowing they had numbers. Really unselfish play by the freshman.
Sure did. And changing that angle, it makes it tougher on the goalie too, right? So, as the goalie, Abby Porter made that pass, unfortunately a little low. Matthews picks it off, starts running back right at her. Mm-hmm. If you change the angle, the goalie has to change her footwork, change her positioning, and it makes it tough to make that save. So heads up play by Matthews, dishes off to Enters. First shot was stuffed, but again, wherewithal to follow it up, grab the ground ball, and bury offside.
You got to think tale of two tides in this time out here. A lot of fundamental talk, because I'm sure what Coach Gatz is a longtime veteran coach in football and lacrosse here in the state of New Hampshire, primarily for Salem. Sticking to basics, trying to keep their composure, trying to just maintain possession for a minute to kind of give the defense an opportunity to get their legs back. Whereas for Bedford, you got to wonder, just continually doing what you're doing, making good passes, doing the little things well. and not focusing on the big things each time right now, because with a 7-goal lead, short 12 minutes into this game, certainly the ball's in their court to maintain and control this game for sure.
Yeah, focusing in on their sets, right? I'm sure we'll see a couple of different offensive sets, maybe a couple of set plays.
Mm-hmm.
And as we talked about before, a few different faces in there that we don't normally see, as Audrey Purnell, one of them, comes out to midfield with Matthews and enters as we get set for the draw. 13:20 left here, 7-0 Bedford in the first half of action. For attack, we have Abby Williams, Isabel McStowe, looks like Alex Daldo, and last one is Cameron Schmidt. So again, a young attack out there for Bedford. Seeing what they can do. They're spreading out those defenders, trying to keep that middle of the field wide open for the draw. The draw was not high enough, so we're going to redo it. Olivia Matthews is in there for the draw this time instead of our normal Julian Bell, who we see there for the Bulldogs. That one does go high enough. Purnell can't get the GB on the first try. We're going to have an empty check, so we start right away. An empty check is, as you're going for a ground ball there, you cannot check a player's stick who does not have the ball in it. So if your stick or cross is empty, the opposing player cannot check it. If that happens, whoever the person was that checked loses possession. So in that case, the Salem defender had an empty check and Bedford is awarded the ball. So the midfield out here at the 25-yard line. Passing back and forth. It's kind of a tough situation for Bedford. You don't want to run up the score egregiously, but you also still want to get your players some time to make some good lacrosse moves. They made about 4 or 5 passes, maybe more. Now they're into an offensive set. So coming over to the right side here with Olivia Matthews looking for cutters. They have a stacked midfield. Cutters are coming through, and they find Schmidt. Schmidt's shot was nice. Good handle. Shot offside, but couldn't quite get it to go. Missed wide left, but it's backed up behind by Alex Daldo. Daldo looking for Matthews. Ooh, cut back door. Go back door. Go all the way. There it is. They reverse it behind. McStowe there. She uses the crease to her advantage. And they're really trying to get it to Matthews, so they want to set up a play. They have a stack high right. And Matthews looks for a cutter. Can't get it to go there, but it's backed up nicely. Abby Williams. Ground ball goes behind to Alex Daldo. And they'll reset.
Although they haven't had a couple crisp passes here, Bedford doing a good job of fielding those ground balls and maintaining possession and resetting.
And they're getting some cutters to go through. Using the confusion of that cutting, and Enners makes good on it. So Enners cuts, catches right-handed, and buries low left. That's a really tough shot as you're moving right with your right hand to get it all the way back across the face of the goal to that low left side, and a really tough save.
Yeah,
for
tough
Abby
angle.
Porter.
Yeah, tough angle for any goalkeeper who's shifting with the play, moving with their eyes as the defender's going the other way. They're not thinking about that opposite post, and to be able to shoot that and have success with it, that's a difficult opportunity for a goalie. You see it in hockey a lot as well, because it's a very difficult angle to contend to.
Tremendous accuracy by Enners there. She found that low left side. And yes, that momentum is a tough thing to battle as you're a goalie. Moving your entire weight to your left, and the shot goes back to your right. Go back to the draw. High. And Matthews comes away with it on a hustle back into her defensive third almost, right near that restraining line. And she legs it out, gets it into the offensive third. Purnell, back to Enners. Now to Matthews. And they'll cycle it through the midfield here, set up their offense. At about, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 passes. Again, they remain patient. Purnell back to Enners. And back to Purnell. And back to Enners. Do I sound like a broken record here, Corey?
You're calling it as you see it. Nothing wrong with that.
Just over 10 minutes left here to play in the first half. It is 8-0 Bedford. Beautiful evening for lacrosse. It's just about 6 o'clock p.m. local time. I know we have listeners and viewers all over the world now, Corey Parker.
Oh, great. Is the fact that you had to drop local time sums it up right there.
Isn't that outstanding?
I mean, that's impressive.
Some of our colleagues in the EU, maybe down under, who knows? Be pretty late for them, but it's pretty exciting to dial into Bedford, New Hampshire lacrosse. So
I had the opportunity to be on a Zoom call last night with the assistant director of marketing for Gonzaga. And while we were on a call and talking about Twitter and social media, he actually pulled up our YouTube channel, was shocked on how much offerings we've had through the winter and into the spring season.
Love it.
So West Coast, no less. I don't know if he's tuned in today, but
he might be, he might
3 o'clock out there. Maybe he's got a few free minutes.
He may be a really interested party in girls lacrosse,
I don't doubt his enthusiasm.
Little skirmish there, but it's back into the Bedford offensive third, and we're going to settle it down at midfield again. So Enners to Matthews, to Enners to Matthews, to Enners to Matthews. No, I'm just kidding. It's with Enners now.
It is
top center.
And
they're running a little bit of a weave up top.
This is the tricky part of all sports, and it is a tough scenario for coaches to manage at times as well, because you still want to run sets and be competitive. And, in this certain situation, you've got some girls that didn't see a lot of minutes last week against Sauhegan, so they want to be competitive. They want to get out there, as we're seeing a line change happening at midfield.
Yeah, wholesale line substitution on the defensive end here. So we're going to see some new folks come out. Kira Abdel Sayed comes in, as well as Sabrina Tipping. Let's see who else. Looks like Margaret Thompson.
Maggie Thompson came in there, yep.
And I can't quite tell. I think that might be Libby Norris on the other side
Far
there.
left at the 30, possibly, yep. Fighting the sun, as we can see. One name we haven't really said so far is Abby Widener, as the possession has certainly been on our right side of the field today in the final third of towards the sun setting. So Abby's been able to not fight the sun glare that with some trees fall over the last couple of weeks with some clearing off property here. We've increased a lot of daylight in the evening hours, which is kind of great to not only provide some warmth, but some more natural daylight before the lights need to come on.
A little more airflow to get the turf to grow well. Just kidding. It's artificial turf. But Abby Widener came up with a big early save on a free position. And here the ball is batted away, and the ground ball goes to Salem as they look to come out. But, yeah, that tree clearing has made a pretty big difference here on the home field.
Yep.
Enners comes away with that ground ball. She finds Matthews, and she's into the offensive third. You'll notice they are not pressing too hard right now, as Matthews clearly could have taken her player one-on-one and charged hard, but decided to settle again. Just under 7 minutes to go here. First half action, 8-0 Bedford. So the Salem defense is starting to press out a little bit more. They're coming all the way out to the 25-yard line here. And now they're looking to jump passes here as Purnell has the ball. Back to Matthews. They run a weave. Checked there by Shane Santos. Gets by her, then recovers. Back over to Enners. Enners does not look to shoot. She's looking for offensive cutters. Back to Matthews. Finds a cutter. Cameron Schmidt can't pull the trigger, so she'll hang out. Look back for another cutter. And
Ooh,
Isabel
McStowe.
McStowe on a nice turn and finish there. Yeah, great patience there by
Yeah.
Cameron Schmidt. I have to say, she caught the ball tough in traffic, didn't feel like she could get a shot off, but turned back and found McStowe cutting.
Yeah, her
And
body language definitely looked like she wanted to shoot that upon catch up and realized it wasn't the best. And patient, quality teammate there hit McStowe, who was coming right behind her in the movement offensively, and McStowe able to bury it at the feet of the goalie. And again, to your point, with that stick being up, that's a real hard one to come down and try to get.
yeah, and I have to say, great secondary cut by McStowe too, right? So normally those offensive players are going to sit and watch and see if their teammate can make a nice play, but McStowe didn't sit back. She cut right after into the area that was voided by Cameron Schmidt and was able to catch and finish.
Yeah, one thing I think certainly with those top tier teams, Sauhegan, Pinkerton, certainly us, BG, Exeter, you got a lot of confident girls playing at all positions. And so the attack and the competitiveness in those games is really going to be outstanding lacrosse to watch.
So we see some of the starters have come back in as Regan O'Brien is back in, Sydney Grogan back in, Julian Bell. Looks like Emily Ulmer is back there on attack now too. So more patience, more cutters from the attack. McStowe cuts through. Secondary cut by Ulmer. More patience up top with Grogan. There you go. Left-handed pass there by Sydney Grogan. You like to see them working their offhand too. Just trying to improve their stick skills in these types of settings. Julian Bell presses now. Gets whacked. She'll pick the ball back up. So 4.5 to go here in the first half. 9-0 Bedford. Bell is patient up top. Looks for cutters. This time finds Regan O'Brien. She pulls it out. No secondary cutter that time, though.
Yep.
Somebody could have come in right behind. O'Brien finds Bell. Tries to catch and finish lefty. Can't get it to go, and Porter comes away with that loose ball. So Porter looking to make a pass. An outlet pass is picked off, almost picked off by Sydney Grogan, but she gets the ground ball. Grogan up quick to McStowe.
Still got a little lost behind the defense there. Well, I should say the Salem defense got a little lost not finding her.
Yeah. But she does come away with that pass and settles things back down. So Purnell up top. Grogan now. Finds O'Brien. She fakes.
And that's just a sound play on her part. Obviously, she could have thrown a shot up there, but is it a high percentage shot? Probably not. And is it something we really need to work on right now? Whereas we can get more touches, more movement, engage a couple girls on the field, like an Abby Williams right now, getting her more familiar with playing with some of these girls, because the reality of it, on any given day, we don't know who's going to be available, as we see Emily Ulmer.
Emily Ulmer comes with the cut from behind, catch in traffic and finishes offside. Offside high there. Nice goal there by Emily Ulmer, the senior attack. Again, patience. You're absolutely right. You know, you want people to get some time. Want people to touch the ball. So 3 minutes left here. It's 10-0 Bedford.
We have entered running time. As any time the goal differential is 10 goals, it will be a running time at that point. So the clock will continue to run until when Salem cuts the margin to 9.
So back to the draw circle, we have Julian Bell against Emily Wilson for the Salem Blue Devils. That ball goes towards the offensive third, but the defender for Salem was out early. Looked like Madison McGinn came out of the restraining box a little too early. So that is a violation. And the Bulldogs will restart as they get it to O'Brien. O'Brien came out hot last week. 6 goals and 4 goals in those 2 games. So outstanding offensive output for the sophomore attack. As she gets it again now. Grogan back to Bell. Bell chased a little bit near that restraining box by Neom Edwards. They can reach over that with the stick, that restraining line there at the 30, and check a stick. They cannot physically go over that line, though, as that will be an offside call. And Bedford spins it around behind, and now it looks like they're going to set up a stack in the top right. Look for some cutters with their midfielders. Julian Bell looks for cutters.
Keeping a nice distance of space between the cutters and the passer, in this case, Bell. Really opened up the middle there.
And you look for those subtle moves, too, so she can get her hands free, open and wide. Little stutter step, a little quick jab. There's a little face dodge, split dodge, back to her left hand. Timing was off, though, so she chooses to keep the ball. So 45 seconds left here in the first half. 10-0 Bedford. Patience as she finds Sydney Grogan. Grogan, again, decides not to shoot. Didn't even look at it. She probably would have had a shooting space as one of the Salem defenders was ranging over for a double team. 30 seconds left now.
Nice move by Grogan there. The first 5 cuts had all come topside, and she went underneath it, which clearly fooled their defender, who was anticipating someone else going above the top. And, you know, similar principles to a basketball or even corner kicks in soccer, where you're ultimately trying to deceive your opponent.
And Grogan, the multi-sport athlete, a star on the basketball team, has done those cuts over and over again.
Absolutely.
McStowe in the middle now. 4 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. We're going to hold the ball. No shots here as the first half runs out on a 10-0 half. The Bedford Bulldogs lead the Salem Blue Devils here at Bedford High School. We'll take a 10-minute timeout during halftime, and we'll join you again shortly for second half action here at Bedford High School. And we are back.
Little
Second half action here for the Bedford lacrosse team, the girls varsity lacrosse team, as they take on the Salem Blue Devils. They lead at halftime 10-0.
little tardy, so I apologize with my read, but the Bedford Bulldogs Athletic Booster Club would like to thank our generous sponsors this year, including Spectrum Marketing, Bedford Village Inn, Lair Boschman Realty Partners, Liberty Hill Construction, New Hampshire Athletic Fundraising, Caldwell Banker, Pizza Bella, Rebecca Spires Real Estate, Friends of Girls Basketball, and Gear Up Bedford. For more information, please check out www.bbabc.net for more information.
Corey, I have to give you a hard time. You're supposed to do that within the flow of the game.
Yeah, I know. It's
And
just a lot of read. I mean, it's a great
Oh,
problem, right? When we
yeah,
have that
it
many
is.
great companies in town that are wanting to support Bedford Bulldog Athletics.
I love it. I love how you spun that. It was very nice, Corey. And we do appreciate all of those sponsors. It's fantastic that the local community is so involved into the local sports and providing the booster funding that's necessary. So, and Salem into the offensive end. I haven't said that much.
I know. It's a great start for the Blue Devils to start the period.
Lacos into Kim Lopez. Her shot goes high, and it's backed up by the Bedford defense. So tough there as you take those shots. You want to try to have an offensive player behind the net, as again, where the ball goes out, when it goes out after a shot, whoever is closest is rewarded that ball. In this case, the Bedford defense was closest. And they get it to Emily Ulmer, who legs it out, gives it to Ellie Enners. And they're into their offensive third, and they'll settle it down. So up top, Bell to Grogan, now to Matthews. Now, Matthews is standing in a tough spot with the sun, as we were mentioning earlier. Yeah. It was a tough position for the goalies. And in this case, Abby Porter, anything from her top right is going to be a tough shot to save, as it is a yellow ball, and the sun is in a tough position for glare. So although the Bedford Bulldogs don't necessarily need to take advantage of that, it might be something that they consider.
Yeah, it's definitely something to think about as we, entertain possible playoff matches here. As we see Enners from Matthews for the goal.
Point blank range, tough catch in traffic again. Enners right there above the crease, takes a little bit of a fake, got her defender stunned, and then buries it offside hip for her fourth goal of the game.
Oh. Flip that. Enners with the goal, Matt. Correction. Ever goal number 26.
Ever goal scored by number 26, Ellie Enners, assisted by number 6, Olivia Matthews.
So 11-0 here. Second half action. The clock is running as that deficit is greater than, 10 or greater. So running time now as we get back to the draw. Grogan loses her stick. And Lopez is there for Salem, but that ball finds its way into Mackenzie Muir's stick, and they get it back up into transition. So now it is Emily Ulmer. Ulmer goes behind. Cradle's left-handed. She's checked there by Madison Morales. They get it now to Alex Daldo. Face dodge. Finds a cutting Regan O'Brien. O'Brien through traffic, back out to the top. She dumps it to Matthews and then cuts through. Back to Grogan up top. Grogan to Bell. Looking for more cutters from behind. Patience again. Now they're cutting pretty close to the crease here now. As they keep that patience, we've seen them run a stack from the top right of the goalie, top left of the attacking team. Looking for right-handed cuts. Now they find a cutting Alex Daldo from behind. Gets a step and gets to the top side, but can't bury it. Her shot goes wide right.
Nice job by Daldo there, being able to receive that pass, as that was speculating right in daylight and sunlight coming down on her. But
We might have a dangerous shot here. Yeah.
Yep.
So in this case, Julian Bell, although it was a crafty little shot, she turned her stick over and fired backhand. It hit a player in front of the goalie. And because it was Julian Bell wasn't looking at the cage, I know this is kind of an awkward rule here in girls lacrosse. Because she was not looking at the cage and it hit a player, they call it as a dangerous shot. So Julian Bell will go off and serve a minute penalty. And the Salem Blue Devils are awarded the ball. So Kim Lopez comes out. She finds Emily Wilson into transition, checked by Grogan, but that's an illegal check. Grogan goes behind. Restart for Wilson. They get it into the offensive third. So Wilson into the middle. Her pass is picked off. And Olivia Matthews back into transition. Nice, as you said, nice pick by Matthews. So Ulmer, lefty drive. She's going to take it behind. Goal line extended right now, and now she's back behind the cage, frequently referred to in lacrosse as X. Cut there by Grogan. Grogan finishes. Again, a pass and a cut through traffic. Tough catch in traffic, and she was able to finish. What's nice to see today is many of these goals are assisted goals, too. They're not individual efforts, dodging through two or three girls, running all the way through the fan. Almost every one of these has been assisted, which is great to see. Good cutting, good passing, skills at a high level here, and sharing of the ball.
Yeah, kind of what we alluded to earlier, and we saw it evident in, I believe, every goal's had an assist, aside from enters on the rebound. They're just doing a nice job of just trying to find the open girl in this case and make the high percentage shot, and no need to do more than that.
I think we had a couple free positions too, but again, I would say the majority have been.
Glad they let that one go.
Yeah, have been assisted goals here, so good to see. So it was a little awkward play there as Ellie Enners ran up from the attacking end on that draw. We did have a player still in the penalty box, Julian Bell, for that dangerous shot. So you are allowed to bring a third player up onto the midfield circle during the draw. So Enners had come up. I'm surprised the referees did let that go, and the draw itself didn't go very high.
No.
So,
nonetheless, we are rolling here.
Yep.
So we have a quick minute. Congratulations to the boys and girls tennis teams. Both of them start the season 3-0 with 9-0 victories over Concord twice and Hanover just yesterday. Both teams take on Hanover again tomorrow, one of the stronger teams in the state. So hopefully, if Mother Nature doesn't prevail, we can get those tennis matches in tomorrow.
Those courts are in great shape, too, with the resurfacing.
They did. A heck of a facelift across town, really. A lot of fields, a lot of parks. Everything's looking great in Bedford. And even if you come up to the high school before you enter the lot, you've got construction going on across the street where they're putting an artificial turf field down at Sportsman Field, which, again, will be a huge plus for youth sports, high school sports, adult sports in town. And a lot of teams can reap the benefits of that turf field for sure.
It does look good. Isabella Bucheri into the midfield there for Salem. Picked up on the ground ball by Chloe Stone. Stone presses, defended well there by Mackenzie Muir. Ball's on the ground, and Muir comes away with it. She gets checked on the way out, but she'll restart quickly. Gets it to Regan O'Brien. O'Brien presses, decides not to press any further, and lets her team catch up with her. Yeah, absolutely. Sportsman Field looks like it's in really nice shape. And completion by the end of June is what is anticipated?
That is what they're saying. I know the 18-wheeler brought the pad today. That goes underneath the turf for an extra layer of cushion and help with frost heaves. So
cut there by Bell, and Bell finishes for her hat trick. So 13-0, just over 16 minutes to play here in the second half. And the pad, yeah, we're looking forward to seeing it all go down. And I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful field when it's a finished product.
Yeah, it is a fun process. I've been fortunate to obviously take part in this one and two other ones at previous schools that I worked at. And it's like rolling out sod. It goes from a dirt to a green, pastured, perfectly laid field in about 48 hours, which is really exciting. And then once it's sown in, it's about a 4-day process. And again, one that I think every youth organization in town is really going to reap the benefits of. Sportsman's a unique layout. It isn't as much as a rectangle as this field is. And so you have more of a square shape, which will allow for more opportunities for more teams to be out there at the same time working on skills.
Draw possessed by Sidney Grogan. Bedford into their offensive third. Now I'm curious about the fence down there. I mean, with the pond just beyond one end zone or
Yeah.
one end line, if you will, that what they have set up right now doesn't look nearly high enough.
It'll be interesting to see if they want to extend off that. I believe those are 20-foot poles. And I want to say they probably had 30s before where they had the telephone pole system in there that dates my childhood. So I'm sure an upgrade was necessary. But it'll be interesting to see if they hopefully extend some capacity. I know football uprights will not be going on the field as it is only 100 yards, not 120, which is necessary for the end zone. So
Excellent cut there by Enners, and she finishes. So she has 5 goals on the day now. And yeah, so uprights will not go in, but the
correct.
football team will probably still practice down there.
Yeah, we'll probably put a makeshift upright on the opposite end soccer goal as what we've had in previous years for kicking. So the kicks will extend possibly over the fence line into the grass area between the turf and the pool area. But again, I know at least for Lergio and the high school teams, everyone's really excited about getting out there and just having that consistent playing surface. That field was one that was certainly worn in many years, and so a facelift was needed, and people are very excited about it.
Good look by Sidney Grogan. Excellent offensive play right there. Got it down to Cameron Schmidt. Schmidt over to McStowe. McStowe finishes. Great transition opportunity there as both low defenders came high to get Sidney Grogan or get into Sidney Grogan's way. And she passed it right over top. Cameron Schmidt looked across the crease and found Isabel McStowe for the finish. So McStowe has 2 on the day. It's 15-0 Bedford with 14 minutes left to go here in the second half.
For our community members tuning in, welcome this evening. You might have noticed this past Saturday a lot of blue trash bags all over the roads, on the sides of the roads, filled this past Saturday as April 17th was Cub Day here in town, Clean Up Bedford, and many high school student athletes, teams, and organizations took part as well as many community members. Special thanks going out to all those teams that took part. A really great educational moment for a lot of our kids who realized how much trash was on the side of the roads as they filled. I couldn't even tell you how many bags, as I know DPW was busy Saturday afternoon picking up those bags across many roads here in town. So special thanks again to the community and certainly our student athletes who took part in that adventure.
I understand they're going to try to weigh those bags too to see the total amount of trash
cool.
picked up. So that'll be cool, the statistic to see at the end of it, to summarize the work.
I know I was driving around many of the roads dispersing additional bags, and some of our student athletes were getting a good hand workout and arm workout, carrying them around, lugging hundreds and hundreds of cups of Dunkin' Donuts. Plastic cups, that's for sure. So great to see, though. Student athletes and community members taking care of their town. Great to see.
Segment on BCTV on Friday.
And there will be a segment. Our illustrious George Cox, who I'm sure ran it, will be on Friday on BCTV, showcasing the day. I assume met with Bill Carter from the town council and who was spearheading it, as well as Charlie Furman.
Charlie Fairman, longtime Bedford resident, is in fact my father-in-law.
No way.
True story.
Right.
True story.
Also, getting many of our students safe to school each and every day.
Sure is. Driving a bus in town after his retirement. Longtime quality engineer and wanted to give back to the community. So he is a bus driver now.
He was our go-to for all the routes for kids. There's no question there. He was very well equipped.
So Bedford is still back on the offensive end. Just under 12 minutes to play here. McStowe. So we'll take it back behind.
Again, looking ahead for the rest of the week, Bedford will travel to Salem, take on the Blue Devils on their turf, or their grass, I should say, on Thursday at 4 p.m. down there. And then Saturday are back here hosting Winnicott in a Division II conference game, a team that we look forward to playing each and every year. Winnicott Warriors, a very strong Division II team. So the girls will host Winnicott here. JV tipping off at 10 a.m. with Varsity at 11:30 on Saturday, and swing across the street to Wicked Butcher, pick up some chicken salad, and head back as the boys JV take on Wyndham at 1:30 and Varsity at 3 on Saturday.
Day chock full of lacrosse here on the
Nothing better.
turf here. For a lacrosse player like myself, yes, there is nothing better.
Hopefully we can have weather like today.
Supposed to be 70 from what I see.
Beautiful.
But who can tell tomorrow's weather? Never
No.
mind Saturday.
That's true.
So enters back up top. Looks for cutters. Purnell over to Grogan. Contested there. We're going to have an empty check on Purnell, so Chloe Stone will pick it up for the Blue Devils. Ball off target there. Defended well by Kira Abdel Sayed. Haven't mentioned our defenders too much here for the Bedford Bulldogs, but they've done a nice job of marking their players so far. Abdel Sayed in there on that play. Sabrina Tipping. Libby Norris. And Maggie Thompson are out there on D right now. And as you mentioned earlier, too, we haven't mentioned Abby Widener's name very much. Again, she has not been really challenged except for the free position in the first half. Otherwise, it's been in the Bedford offensive end as McStowe is able to cash for her third goal of the game. And time of possession is heavily in favor of Bedford, and they've taken the opportunity to rack up 16 goals now with 9.5 left in the second half.
Assisted by number 26, Amanda Enners.
So we'll go back to the draw circle. Tough night here for the Blue Devils. And they'll try to make some adjustments and see what they can do on Thursday night, as these two teams, as you mentioned, will square off again, this time down in Salem. Shadows extending across the field now, as looks like Abby Porter is no longer going to be hindered by that sun in the few minutes here. Lights might come on even, depending on how low it goes.
I think we're going to need some stoppage time to get there. I like our odds with 8.5 that we don't need to flip the switch tonight.
True, running time too. Budget conscious Corey Parker is going to resist all urges to put those lights on. We'll redraw again as that ball has not gone high enough. Ooh, that ref just took the ball off the head. Ouch. Solid rubber ball. That does not tickle. And when the boys game, that ball can get upwards of 90 or 100 miles an hour with a fast, strong high school shooter. So that can certainly leave a mark. And this draw controlled nicely by Olivia Matthews. Got her stick high, came away with it cleanly after a couple of restarts. And now Purnell back to Grogan. And we're back racking up that high percentage of time of possession for the Bulldogs in their offensive third. 7.5 to go here, 16-0. The Bulldogs hold the lead.
Again, special thanks go out to the BCTV crew. Corey certainly here on my left, George Cox on my right. Editor extraordinaire, being able to connect all the dots when I unplug things incorrectly and did not set up properly.
Good save there,
Yeah, good
Abby
save.
Porter. Point blank shot there from Ulmer. Sorry to cut you off, Corey.
No, it's quite all right.
Great save by Porter.
But certainly Harry Kozlowski, who I spoke with just the other day about brainstorming some softball, baseball games to get out to this year. Constraints at some of those facilities are something we're working through right now. And Colleen Richardson back at the office and Bill Jennings making it all go. So appreciate again BCTV and 105.1 for all their contributions, not only this year, but certainly this year more than ever with assisting all families and friends that are unable to attend the games, being able to stream and watch their sons and daughters and grandsons and granddaughters, and certainly friends in many cases.
We know we have a contingent dialing in today from upstate New York, some from Long Island. So
Love it.
fans and relatives all over the country. See if we can get anybody from down under at some point, but making it an international
I
broadcast,
believe
right,
we had
George?
Istanbul, right? Or not Istanbul. Jeez Louise. Yes.
Istanbul,
In
really?
basketball season. That
Get
was
outta here.
confirmed. Yep. For
What?
a couple games. Yep.
Wow.
So
I feel honored. I am an international broadcaster now. I love
literally
it.
are.
Coach Gibbs, I'm loving it.
Yep.
Coach Gibbs is here in the press box with us too, giving us some information. That ball's picked off by Sabrina Tipping. Great interception. She dishes. Omer can't handle that. But Grogan is there for a ground ball. Can't get that to go either, as Riley Devine is in there in the mix for the Blue Devils. But McStowe comes away with it. Thought about firing it into Matthews. And Purnell comes away with it. So 5.5 to go here in the game. As you mentioned, it's great to be able to broadcast to the local community, but also fans all around, and especially in a trying season like this and throughout the fall and winter.
Yeah.
People were able to see nonetheless, despite the pandemic. Ooh, hits the pipe. Cut through by Matthews. Caught it in traffic. Hit the right pipe. I would always yell to my goalie, great save.
Absolutely. Any vote of confidence you can give a goalie at any point of any game is something that any coach should be working on for sure. As a spotlight position, no less, good or bad.
So Grogan looks for cutters. They have a stack high right. Now they're cutting possibly with their left hand. We put them in a good position to score. McStowe cuts through. Two cutters from the midfield, stacked up on that high right side. Sydney Grogan being very patient. 4 minutes left to go in the game now. 16-0. Purnell finds the back of the net there. Good pass, good cut, and great finish by Audrey Purnell. The freshman gets her first goal. And it is 17-0.
For all Bulldog student athletes out there, never too early to start thinking about fall of 21. Football tryouts will begin Friday, August 13th, with all other fall offerings. Tryouts beginning on Monday, August 16th. Again, for new families coming from Lergio, we welcome you to Bedford High School. Sports do begin at the high school level prior to school. And so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself, Corey Parker, in the athletic office, or email myself or one of the coaches so we can have information. Camp season getting wrapped up. We're finalizing some of the camps being offered this summer out here on the turf. And so we'll get that information out to you as soon as possible.
Corey, you're wishing away my summer, man.
I know.
Like, we haven't even started summer, and
Believe
you're
you
talking
me,
about the end of summer.
I got 6 days in July. I'm anxiously looking forward to.
You're killing me, man. Draw control goes to Olivia Matthews.
You're here in shorts and a t-shirt. I mean, it's summertime now, Corey. You're ready to go.
And 40s tomorrow. I can't wait.
Welcome to New England.
So 2.5 to go, just about. 17-0 Bedford Bulldogs over the Salem Blue Devils. And yes, camp season begins for sports as well as the band. I know the band gets started pretty early in August.
They do. Their band camp is the week before tryouts. And so band will have full range of this place Monday, August 2nd through Monday, August 6th. So actually a week and a half before football this year. So
gives them a chance to go through their field show, rehearse all of their songs that they play with the Bedford football team.
No question. It's an impressive unit. Kelsey Gaudette's done a fabulous job leading the band, and 100+ student athletes not only playing instruments and playing perfectly at halftime, moving across an entire field in shapes that Abby Williams we see there. Excuse me, Alex Doldo.
Alex Doldo, yeah. So
Doldo.
cut through, and that's a nice goal there because she cut through with her left hand, caught it in traffic, and was able to finish high. So Excellent play there by Alex Daldo, the senior attacker. Offhand finish.
Again, to your point earlier, working on fundamentals in a game that fortunately Bedford's well in hand. They're able to try to do some things. We saw Julian Bell try that earlier with the left on the entry pass. So, trying to get better each and every day. And sometimes in a lopsided score, that can get lost. But coach does a good job of reminding girls of that and really just doing a nice job getting every girl in significant minutes tonight, even sometimes in creative ways, playing different positions than you typically see them, just to kind of manage the game.
Just under a minute to go here. 18-0 Bedford. Salem picks up the ball. Ariana Lakos can't complete the pass, and Kira Abdel Syed comes away with the ground ball. Up to Regan O'Brien. Slips by one defender. Second comes in from the side. She will not shoot. Likely will go to the corner and run a play that we used to call armadillo, where you just run to the corner and you're looking to run out the clock. Probably not necessary here at 18-0, but
No.
Coach Bill O'Brien and I used to have a lot of fun yelling out, armadillo! I mean, who yells armadillo at a sporting game?
I've heard worse, believe me.
Two goofy coaches, that's who. 5 seconds to go now here, and the Bedford Bulldogs will come away with a victory, 18-0, as they had this game well in hand from early on and all the way throughout the game. We really appreciate you joining us here. We will see you here on Thursday afternoon for the boys tilt starting at 4 p.m.
Yes.
I don't think Corey Parker will join me, but it's been a pleasure here to chat with you this afternoon. Thanks for joining me on the
Pleasure's
call.
all mine.
Pleasure again to George Cox. Thank you very much on camera and statistics and graphics. It's been a very beautiful afternoon with
Yes.
a positive outcome for the Bulldogs, and we appreciate it. So for now, for Corey Parker, I'm Corey Munster Tiger. We'll see you the next time.